can help you to live better lives here in Houston. Today we have an exciting show. We'll be talking about something very important to all of us, education and reading and literacy. So if you will welcome with me today our first guest, Tammy Lane Campbell. And Tammy is the founder and executive director of the Honey Brown Hope Foundation. Welcome, Tammy.
It's a blessing to be here, Mia. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. You know, we said our topic today is education, in particular the reading and literacy. And we know that at the present time, we're kind of in the summer months. And so quite often our children go through a period of not reading and writing. And so we definitely want to encourage our viewers to get more involved in this area. Just share with us a little bit about literacy and about reading and writing, and what's the correlation?
Okay. Well, there's an important connection between reading and writing, and if you would help me demonstrate by reading what's on that paper.
Well, the front and the back are blank. There's nothing here to read, so I assume something has to be done.
That's right. Without writing, there would be no reading, which is clearly illustrated by that blank sheet of paper. Writing was the first form of documentation. Before video and audio taping, writing was our source of documentation.
Yes.
It gives us an opportunity to leave a permanent message even after death.
Absolutely. I'm going to give this back to you so you can write on that for
Thank you.
But that's incredible. What a great correlation and connection is that if we don't write, then we are unable to read. And so we have to encourage others to write. What are some of the things that maybe parents can do to encourage their children, particularly children that don't write? Or even before we even go there, why are we finding maybe kids aren't writing as much?
Well, because writing is something that most people are apprehensive about. Even adults are apprehensive about writing, but we're all writers. When you think about writing a letter to someone, whether it's to inform, educate, to persuade, we write on a regular basis. So we encourage our children to write by first setting the example ourselves, and then writing to our children, having a writing conversation with them, and with the expectations of them writing back to us. So it's very important for us to set those standards at an early age.
That's so true. I think about the love letters that once existed and how often, you know, people would write to one another and people would have a sense of knowing who that other person was based on their writing. But these days, you know, our communication is a little different. How do you think the use of maybe cell phones and texting and email, how do you think those have impacted our writing opportunities and abilities?
Well, when you think about discarding those technologies, which we do on a regular basis, then we lose that if we don't, of course, transfer it over to the next computer or the next phone. Whereas even with audio and video, and we tend to go to the next form, the most improved form. But with writing, we have always been able to go back, and if we have that documentation, to have that in writing and to read it. So the form that we have now is, of course, temporary until the next improved.
Very true. And you know, I was thinking, I actually used my son's phone to send a text to someone, and he said, "Mom, I never used the letter U for you, but you do that."
Excellent.
Wow, what do you mean? So I think maybe you have 140 characters when you're sending a text message.
Yes.
And maybe with even some of the technology, it's caused us to shorten a lot of words, and that could possibly impact some of the literacy, what people know how to write.
Mia, you're so right on that. Excellent point. Our children are losing their writing skills, and they're already behind when you're talking about competing in the global world in our writing skills. Add that to using shortened words, misspelled words, as you said, about using you instead of writing out you, and as well as just sitting down and having a proper conversation in writing. When we write, those are thoughts that we have that are permanent thoughts. And if that culture changes in the future, which it will, then how are they to read what we have written in the past in terms of the text and everything? It's just like using slang.
Right. Those
If
words
you use,
won't translate.
That's right. And if you use them on a regular basis, it become a problem for you to use standard English.
Very true.
Yeah, and
Very
even
true.
with calculators, our children in use of calculators, it has affected their abilities to add and subtract and just basic math.
And to properly think through. More than
you
our
just
children,
said it.
our adults are being affected.
Yes.
Where's the calculator?
Yes.
But the same thing, Tammy, I really like what you're saying about this literacy piece is that we aren't writing. We're no longer a writing society overall. But even with the technology, we can use some of the software to write and capture and keep those thoughts that are there. But we maybe go through other versions and we don't write as much. So what can a parent do, particularly say over the summer, what can a parent do to encourage their children to write and themselves write?
The best way is to write and be an example as a writer. Let your children see that you're writing. And as I said earlier, have them to write to you and have them to edit your work when you're sending out work. I know you do a lot of business correspondence. Have your children to edit that work, because when they're editing that work, they're learning about writing skills as well. And you edit their work, so it becomes like a team.
Where's my camera?
And also,
oh boy!
and also, you can do reward type of things for writing an essay, doing and having them enter into poetry contests and other writing contests.
Well, we should encourage our kids in their writing, and then encourage them in many ways. We can do it by having them write. I like how you said do a contest, some different types of competitions. Kids always seem to kind of respond to that. Adults too.
Yes.
But also just involve them and be the example for them to be more literate in terms of writing and reading.
And then it's a bonding type of thing. You know, of course, your children take great joy in correcting you.
Oh, of course, you're
so
right.
when they're able to
absolutely.
edit,
You've
your
hit the nail
work,
on the head.
that would really encourage them to look at it thoroughly, because they want to see what errors you've made.
Absolutely. Well, you must know my children. They
no,
love.
Those are mine, based on mine.
I think that's a child issue. You know, I really like the things that you're doing with the Honey Brown Hope Foundation.
Thank you.
And I want to definitely make sure that people get information and know how to reach you and find out the different ways that they could connect with you, and then share this information to encourage them. So we'll come back and share your website information a little bit later. But I did want to ask the question with the Honey Brown Hope. I know that you do some competitions.
Yes.
And do you service with other organizations? Do you partner up with other nonprofit organizations to kind of help?
Yes, we do.
Bring to light?
We've partnered with schools, city entities, and as well as nonprofit organizations. We're celebrating our 20th anniversary this year with Reverend Clifton Davis, D'Artagnan Bay Bell, and former Mayor Lee P. Brown.
And activities coming up. We'll be sure to direct people to your website for that, so that they'll know when to get that information and find out more there. But you have some great creative ideas in talking about getting the children involved with literacy and having them, you know, write more. You have some great creative ideas. Can you share some of those that you're doing?
Yes. We have a program called We Love America, Healthy, Clean, and Green, which promotes an appreciation for the environment, diversity, and writing. Because we have students, after-school students who we work with, who write about their love for their country.
Yes.
Why it's beautiful, why it's important for us to be good stewards to keep our earth healthy, clean, and green. Because although we may come from different backgrounds, we all share one earth.
Yes.
So it's a connection between all people to take pride in the earth that has been provided for us, and our responsibilities as earth caretakers.
So then the children will write about this particular topic.
That's right.
And then is that a competition as well, or is that something just to get them involved?
That is something to get them involved and for them to see their words in print, so they can be identified as an author. And then we have the program where they come out and share their essays with others.
Who knows? You know, we may be inspiring the next poet laureate of the nation by encouraging our children to write.
Yes.
You know, our children are so a part of our hip-hop generation.
Yes.
And really, it's poetry being spoken.
It certainly
with
is.
music behind it.
Yes.
And so we definitely need to encourage these skills and gifts because they're long-lasting and they leave a legacy. Let's share the information for Honey Brown Hope Foundation so people can get more information.
Thank you.
You can reach Tammy Lane Campbell and the Honey Brown Hope Foundation at P.O. Box 1044, Stafford, Texas 77497. And the number there is 281-499-7966. Their website is honeybrownhope.org, honeybrownhope.org. You know, Tammy, one of the things we talked about was in the schools as well, with some of the books being changing some of the terminology or words within books, and why is that important as well?
New South Books just recently redid Huckleberry Finn, because they found that the story itself was just such an impact upon students. However, it was conflicting in terms of the cultures and how it made some of our children feel.
Right.
So they went and they edited the work.
Some of the words.
The N-word was one of those words. They changed that to slave.
And so that then, because we have to be culturally sensitive as well, and it's not to take away from any literary work, but we also need to make sure that we want to encourage the children to read, but not to be offensive to any group of people. And so that's important. And so over the summer, we encourage our students to read, go to the library, get a library card.
Yes,
do something right.
And their parents to have that library card to go with their children. You know, with the different form of communication now, we're losing our children because we're not communicating with them. We're not bonding with them as a family. Writing is an excellent way, and reading to your children are excellent ways to bond and to build on those family ties.
And have long-lasting relationships.
Most definitely.
Tammy, thank you for sharing your passion for literacy and reading through the Honey Brown Hope Foundation. And we encourage you as a viewer to get involved with your child's life, get involved and become an advocate for their literacy and long-lasting. So thank you for tuning in. We have more information to come on Joy in Our Town. Stay tuned.